Hey guys, hope you're good. Just going to do a little video here. We've got Greg and Lou, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the video roll, and they're going to chat. No, not really. See the look on their faces then. Can you just let us know in the comments below if you can hear me, us, that'd be good. Hey Sharon, just stick a little thumbs up and maybe just say yes, I can hear you. Alright John, and then we'll get going. I've got that sound on anyway. John. Good, yeah, thumbs are up, good. So I'm hoping that means that you can hear us. Cool, we'll just give everybody a couple of minutes just to get on board before we start some of this banter. Yes. Hey Chrissy, have you watched every video this week? Because I think you need one of those medals that they hand out at the end of the week. Louise, get back on the video. This is going to be one of the more loose videos, shall we say, with this pair.
How very dare you?
Where's your beer? Is it under the table?
We've just had to, take the beer away from Louise. That's good. Cool. Emma, honestly, it's all good. It's all good.
Hi, Emma.
Hello, dear. We can see who's there.
Alrighty.
Right.
Cool. Get in there, though. Up close and personal. Cool. Okay, so as I said, for those of you who saw my little post earlier on today, Greg's kindly come down from Gloucester to have a chat with us, and Lou all the way from Launceston, or at least the other side of it, and to discuss their journey, if you like, or a little bit of their journey and some of the goings on the journey. We can't put all of the goings on this video because some of it's for the group chat only. So so they basically kind of come down. We're gonna have a little chat about their journey and talk a little bit about Greg's transition from rugby to triathlon, and also from Lou's this time last year swimming breaststroke, head out the water to do the full Ironman. So awesome. So what I want to do to start with is just Greg, for yourself, if you don't mind, just to start with. Obviously, you played a very, very high level of rugby, and then took a few years out. How many?
Well, I played vets rugby up until probably 5 years ago to good standard, like good tournaments around the world.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces after I had a serious injury playing rugby for Gloucester when I was 28, which basically finished a proper rugby career.
Yeah.
And then sort of put one foot in and one foot out again because could never get properly fit again due to the injury. So I've had a few years doing nothing, and then decided to have something to focus on, just to challenge myself, which took us on this journey for the Ironman.
Yeah, sweet. And Lou, how about yourself? What was it that really inspired you to go and do it? I know we've talked about this off air, but just tell somebody who might be watching, who inspired you?
So I think initially it was watching Fran do South Africa. We were all sat in our homes remotely. I was cooking my dinner, my laptop was open, and I was kind of watching her, struggle through. She was amazing, and that just sparked my interest really.
Yeah.
And then kind of, Simon and Jason were doing it, and watching them progress.
Seeing them go through that same thing. Yeah. And then obviously you came out to Barcelona, didn't you, in 2018, and watched.
And that kind of finished it off really. For me, that was I watched that, and the whole atmosphere, the whole Ironman thing, everything was just incredible. Yeah. And seeing anything is possible.
That slogan that they use. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think if you've been to one of those events before, you'd struggle. You'd have to question your senses if you didn't if you weren't in any small part inspired. So I think that's
amazing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much on point really.
And watching them through their training, basically, from the very beginning when they first started training to finishing, was just incredible.
Yeah. For you, Greg, obviously having been involved in like really high level sport, what worried you most about the going to doing triathlon? Honestly, what was some of your biggest fears, would you say?
The commitment for the distance. Yeah. But that was something I wanted as well in a just something to focus, to challenge the mind, and then to have a coach in yourself, which made me accountable because I knew I had the support of my family to do it basically.
And that's to counsel you through.
Yeah, and then obviously joining the mad group, as I call it. And that was just the icing on the cake. Really, we've become good friends over it.
Yeah, I think that's what's really nice, isn't it? About, you know, I mean, I've seen it before, but probably not on like this, where you guys become such good friends.
Yeah, it was such a bonding experience.
Yeah,
the whole thing's amazing.
I think that's what as well. When you go from being a team player, and then you go to an individual sport, like I experienced that as well to a degree. When you go from playing a team sport, that there is a worry, isn't there? That I'm doing this by myself, like I'm very accountable, but also am I going to be able to share this journey with other people? Like,
because I kept it quite private what I was doing. The majority of my training was on my own, if you know what I mean. Which again, perversely, I enjoyed it because I thought if I can go out and ride my bike 100 miles on my own, then it means that, you know, I know I can get there.
got it inside you,
yeah. You can get in the lake at 10, 11 degrees as it was before we done the swashbuckler. Yeah. And swim in there, you know,
I couldn't breathe in that temperature. I didn't swim.
When you, it's moments like that you think, do you know what, I can do this. You just got to keep focused, stay on track. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, and probably conversely for you, Lou, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that feeling of, for you, it took you away from your comfort zone a little bit more, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
it was when I first got in that lake and older. Yeah. And it was cold. I think it was the first open water swim I'd done with you guys, and I got in and I just couldn't breathe, and that was pretty scary. Trying to swim when I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Would you on that then? So that was a real big fear for you. At what point during the journey do you think you really began to overcome that fear of swimming? Because there'll be people watching this who are in the same boat.
I don't know. I think it was just it was compounded. My confidence, just grew over all the things that you asked me to do. It just kind of, it was a real gradual process, and there were real setbacks. Like, Roadford, when I swam like a quarter of it, and had to call a kayaker, and basically the kayaker took me around the entire route because I was too scared to do it on my own.
Yeah. So I think the thing is that when Lou started out, the message is that you completed the Ironman very well, but along the way it wasn't exactly easy, and there were a number of things that we actually. Well, we had to chat about, didn't we? Because a lot, 95% of it for Lou, I feel, during the swim was fit. Yeah, it was not physical, was it?
No,
there's a lot of mental stuff that goes on in the water. And to be honest with you, even some of the more experienced swimmers will feel some of that emotion still, but just in smaller doses.
I remember even some of the pool swims you set me. I'd get out of the pool in tears. I'd message you, say I can't do it, and you'd be like, it's okay, you can do it, and you get back in and you try again, and
yeah. So I think it's not plain sailing, is it?
No, definitely wasn't plain sailing.
Obviously, you guys went and did long course weekend together as a group. Great fun.
Yeah.
Any particular memories about that? I mean, you mentioned one about the number.
Yeah.
Louise's number.
Yeah, Lou broke the ice for us when she came down with a swim cap on with the numbers on upside down. We were wondering whether she was hoping she sang, the lifeguard could read it.
I wasn't even sure which way round the swim cap should be, let alone which way round the number should be.
Can you put a swim cap on upside down?
Yeah, there's a line in there, it should go that's right. Inside out.
There were a few moments like that, and Matt Reed was very good and put us all at scenes with the barrow jellyfish when you pick one up like a baby and said, they want to eat you. So, the odd face full of a jellyfish still made you think, what's going on here?
But weirdly, I found that it was a real distraction. I think that was a benefit for me, having the jellyfish there. It really was, because I wasn't thinking about swimming then.
Yeah. And I had my daughter Holly do the 1 lap course with me, so again, I couldn't, I was quietly worried about it, shall we say. But I couldn't show any fear because obviously I had my 14-year-old daughter with me, 15-year-old daughter with me, who was going to do the swim as well.
Yeah. So absolutely. So it was all fine, right?
All good. All good.
Anything else from that weekend that was particularly useful, or
useful that as we talked about only a couple of weeks ago about the gastric issues with porridge, that I knew I had taken some porridge that morning, didn't let it digest, and felt terrible on the bike. So for anybody watching this, let your food digest before you ride a bike 112 miles.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. Yeah.
Not enough Imodium taken.
No, didn't need Imodium.
Sorry.
No, and what else was I going to say? Yeah, well, just finishing the course really, because there was one time when we were together when we done the first lap. Yeah. And we were going up the hill into the town, and I was dead, and then we were 70-something miles, and I thought, you know what, I do not want a DNF sat around the table tonight. And we both turned right, and then we'd done the last hilly section together. And that was another breakthrough to think, I've got this, I can do this.
Yeah.
The long course weekend was really valuable though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
because
brilliant.
I knew then, because that was the distance. I did 4,300 I think in the end. So I knew I could do the distance.
Yeah.
That was massive.
I think that is a big thing, isn't it? Along all of this, it's like that. Those things that you put in front of yourself. So you're like 4,000 or 3,800 meter swim, 112 mile bike ride, marathon. They're all these little steps. And if along the way you can break them a little bit, or break the majority of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've got issues with my knee, which we haven't really talked about, but I wish maybe perhaps now I should have done some of the run, the long course, even if I'd have just done a 10k. Yeah. But I didn't. I sat out the run. And, But then we have to remember that our whole thing was about making sure you made the start line.
So with maybe a year under your belt, we could maybe go right next year. Maybe we'll do a little bit of the run.
We'll do some running.
Next year then.
Next year then.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I think what I'm getting from this conversation already so far is like a journey that you share with other people is a much more fulfilling journey.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody watching this who's thinking about it, get a coach and get a good support network. Train on your own, but it's just nice at the end of the day to have a chit chat with people, just to feel accountable. Really, that's personally how I felt.
Yeah.
And I think always somebody there as well when
when you're feeling shit, you've had a shit session.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse my language. When you're feeling bad,
not me.
No, not yet. We'll wind you up in a minute. Yeah, when you've had a terrible day and you're not feeling it, and the session hasn't quite gone to plan, or you've had a puncture, or something's gone on.
Or even you read it and you think, I don't understand this, and you put on the group chat and they'll go, just get on and do it, get on your bike. Okay, all right then.
But it's great to have people there for you and to help you, and family as well. I can't emphasise how much how good they've been with.
Yeah, and like your parents helping you out, and they help you out massively. So, okay, let's have a chat about getting closer to the day. As in moving towards the Ironman. At what point, Lou, for you, did you think? Because I remember it, me and you talked about it. Now I'm starting to feel like I can do this.
Yeah.
At what, and be honest, when did you feel like that?
But so for me, it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back through the entire process.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like before every event, I'd go, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't swim.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, you can swim? You've just done the long course weekend? You're fine. No, I can't swim, Matt. Get in the water, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But do you know what? For me, it wasn't until I got in the water at Barcelona when we did the water acclimatisation.
Yeah, we've done a water acclimatisation swim, and we swam out probably 150 metres to a buoy, probably another 250 metres to another buoy, and both times when I looked round and Lou was on our shoulder, I thought, she's got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, for me, it wasn't even then. It was the morning of the event.
Right.
It was literally.
No, myself, Matt, and Simon had a chat, and we obviously a little bit worried. You were worried about your swim.
When you set the swim acclimatisation, for
like two days before, I always ask the guys, just go and have a swim in the actual environment you're going to swim in, right?
Yeah.
And they're like stood in the water, waiting for me, literally, to walk in the water. Is she going to do it? And I could see what they were thinking. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I am. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. But it was
something
literally
switched, and you swam.
Oh,
you swam there, you swam there, you swam there.
All I've got is Simon in my head going, just keep turning your arms over.
Yeah.
So okay, all right, I'll just do it.
But when we got out from there, we sort of all give each other a silent nod to know that she's going to be all right.
Nice, yeah, no, it was brilliant.
That's very sweet.
I think as well, like when I was watching the Ironman there, 10 days ago. In my head, I knew roughly what time both of you would do.
Yeah.
And when I saw Lou come out of the water, 6 minutes ahead of what I thought she was going to do, and then in my head, I'm always setting a sort of a slightly ambitious target. Yeah. 6 minutes ahead of that, I'm like, well, I won't repeat the words I said at the time, but if you listen carefully to the footage you've seen, you'll hear me, and you'll see Lou's expression, basically like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and I loved every second of it. And I went from fear, like 12 months before, and I literally loved every second of that swim.
It's strange, isn't it? Like it's fear is an emotion, isn't it? Yeah. It's like the physical element was there the whole time, but the fear was holding you back. But like you said, you do an event, you do well at it, and then you'd go and you get like 2 minutes before 2 days before the next event, you like suddenly start to doubt yourself again, and then it was a reality check because you did the next event, you did well, and then I think for your first year of triathlon, both of you did amazing.
So your first year coaching me, you did very well.
Yeah.
Like counsellor.
Counselling, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was good. I'm I'm glad Greg was part of it as well, because half of the counselling was done by him.
Well, I don't know. I think there was a group counselling session. They all counselled me through it.
But that's been said before. But yeah, if you were to print it off, it would make some very, very interesting reading. Either that or we'd be locked up. Many white coats would come and take us away.
I would absolutely be locked up.
Yeah. So let's talk about the sort of the day itself then, Greg. You know, and what was your overall feeling? During the day, over the
I was quite calm in the morning. It was you get too emotional, mate.
No, yeah, sorry.
I got emotional.
I'll ask
no. We watched the sun come up, and when that, I just knew I could do it.
Yeah. What about you, Lou?
Yeah, well, I didn't know I could do it until I got into the water and did the acclimate. And I lay. So I heard the guy say, like Simon had said, the Mediterranean is like a mill pond, and I'm thinking, okay, I did Wales. Wales was flat. I can do this. I can do it. And all the time I'm thinking, I can't do it. I can't, and I'm well enough. And I know when I gave you a cuddle before I went, no matter what happens, Matt, thank you. And I'm thinking, I'm still not sure. And when I got in the water, and everybody else was being called out, and they were saying, time for the participants to go and kind of, find their pen. I'm thinking it's too late for me to swim. I've got to get in the water. And I just got in there and I just lay there for a few seconds. And I thought, okay, yeah.
That was after you fiddled around with your watch for 3
No,
minutes.
that wasn't at the start.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought, okay, do you know what? The water's fine. It's going to be okay. I can do it.
Yeah. And then obviously you got out of the swim and then onto the bike, which is probably if you go back a year, it's probably your favourite event. And obviously we've had, what you find with this triathlon journey is you always find that like whatever event is your strongest event when you come into it, isn't necessarily your strongest event when you come to the day, because you
find one, to be honest.
They're all strong.
Yeah, I was going to say your bike's ace.
Yeah, so I think
you swim.
I think what you find is it's like you can't be starting on two sports and still expect the other sport to be really good. So you may find a little bit of dry. I think it's something we discussed. Yeah. Honestly, we have. We've said that perhaps.
So for the entire my previous cycling history, I always said people would say do triathlon. Now I can't swim and I don't do running. So so that was it. That was my line. So as soon as I signed up for it, really my cycling kind of took a back step because I had to know I could get through the swim.
Yeah.
If I couldn't get through the swim, nothing else mattered.
Yeah, because there's a 2 hour 20. For those who don't know, there's a 2 hour 20 cut off the swim. So basically, if you're not quick enough, you don't get to do the bike.
Absolutely.
So that was the primary importance.
Yeah. So for me, everything took a back step. Even the running, I did, but it was the swimming that I thought I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to,
Yeah. And you did it comfortably at the end, like.
I know.
Real comfortable.
Yeah.
Like 41 minutes inside the time, which is huge. Like you could do another half. You could do another half the distance. So then obviously onto the bike for you, Lou, and then off the bike. So because the biggest fear, I guess, is having a mechanical right on the bike. Because that was never. I didn't ever consider that a problem really. It's more like,
I was tubeless and everything else. I did everything I could to make sure that there was no kind of mechanical issues in the bike.
Yeah.
But it was doing 112 miles straight after a 2.4 mile swim.
Sure.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the bike.
You enjoyed the bike?
I enjoyed the bike.
What did you like about the bike? What was
it was just something that, again, the swim, one bit's out of the way, let's get this done. I had a little target in my mind that I wanted to be under 6 hours. I did have a couple of stops, toilet stops, and Marshall stopped me for my saddlebag looked like it was hanging off even though it was clipped over. So those probably cost me 3 or 4 minutes, but I was under 6 hours. So again, when I got off my bike, I looked at my watch and I thought, I've got this. And I knew I was never going to run a marathon, but I knew I had the mental strength to keep going for the 7 hours it was that I knew I had left to do it.
Yeah.
And I just basically switched off and
got into it. Yeah, it's impressive actually, mate. Every time I saw you on the course, we're trying to sort of relay a little message to you that if you're able to do this, because the big thing was, mate, we knew that was never going to be run.
No.
That's fine.
No, I knew that from the, I tried to run, shuffle, run, walk, whatever. If I'd done it again, well, hopefully do it again. I will stress test the knee 6 months out, and then I'd like to knock an hour off my time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be good. And I think you've got some of that both in the swim and the bike anyway.
Yeah.
So
because the bike I used behind, obviously we chatted about the watts, but I was comfortable at a speed and a shall I say, a feeling in my muscles and my quads that I thought I can hold this easy, and I know I'm going to be under the time, which I'd set myself. I didn't want to push on because again, I just wanted to save that strength and what I had to.
for the run.
For the run.
And the fact that we've never done it before, you just don't know how far.
Well,
you can
I haven't done it.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't done it. I've never, you know, hadn't done it. So I didn't, you know, I wasn't racing anybody. I just wanted to get it done, get my medal.
Yeah, those
Done.
videos. Yeah.
Get down that red carpet.
Yeah.
On the run then, Lou.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the run, because obviously I saw you, honestly, I saw Lou on lap, oh no, what was it, lap?
Probably the first one.
I think it was the first, no,
Yeah,
it was the second lap, it was the second lap, you were going out on your last lap,
Right.
and everybody who's coming past me, honestly, is looking pretty smashed, and then the next person who comes by is Lou, and she's just smiling away. What did I say to you? I think you should run a bit more.
Yeah, that's funny. And I can't say the words that I said at the time.
Abbreviate them.
Is it 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock, no, hour and 40, yeah.
Yeah, I may have been a little bit rude.
Yeah,
Possibly.
But how did you feel on the run though? Obviously, yeah, it's the thing is with that distance race, it's always going to be tough at the end on the run. Like, no matter whether you're finishing 7 hours 51 or whether you're finishing in 16, 17 hours, whatever the cutoff is.
So I came out of transition and obviously saw you out of transition. I started running. I thought, oh, this is okay. It's not too bad. Ran about 500 yards down the road and thought, you know what? This is a bit painful. I'm not sure I like this very much. And then thought, okay, right, 9-1, do 9-1. So I started doing 9-1. No, I don't fancy that much. 1-1. No, I don't fancy that much. I'll run when I hear music.
Oh, I like that.
I'll run when we're on wooden slats. And there's all these things I'm thinking, okay, I'll run when this, I'll run when that. In the end, I just thought, you know what? And there was this guy that I kept passing, and he passed me. And at that point, I thought, you know, I'm just going to walk it. And this guy passed me again, and he said, with a Finnish accent, that we were walking at quite a similar pace.
Yep.
So we just started walking together. And I think he was marginally faster than me, so he kind of spurred me on a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we just walked. Walked.
I did run the first. I tried to run the first loop, and that was quite challenging to try and run walk the first loop. But you know, and just the pain in my knee was quite.
The thing is, though, we knew that we'd make it in the time. Didn't we, by that point,
that was it. That was all it ever was for me. You know, just to get to the start line was the first goal, and then. Yeah, we knew. I
think for anybody, if they honestly said, I think when I back to my first Ironman, like deep down, number one goal is to finish it. So that's all that matters really. Obviously you make the start line and then you finish it. That's it.
That's it.
As far as all the other goals come, I think they kind of more of those goals tend to come in your kind of second, third season because you have an appreciation for what the total stress is in the whole year.
And to put it all together on the day as well. You know, and it sounds. How to say it? Probably wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even though it was
weird,
tough, if that makes sense.
But I don't know whether
again, that comes down to Matt's coaching, Simon, stick to the plan.
Shut up, Simon.
It was true. It was true. Because I was expecting to get off the bike. I was expecting to get off the bike with jelly legs like you do on a training ride, but I actually put my trainers on, actually ran out of transition, which actually shocked me more than anything. I thought, what are you doing? What are you doing? So it was good. It was good.
Yeah. I think I was just going to say there's a
Oh, I dread to think what the comments are. Don't read the comments.
Probably switched off by now, watching EastEnders or something.
I think Penny, I can't flip it sideways because if I flip it sideways, it won't.
Am I not in the picture?
Facebook Live doesn't like.
That's unfortunate.
Penny wants to see less ceiling and more
really?
of us. So, is that better? No. Cool. So, Lou, what do you reckon next year then? What do you fancy doing? Right. So you've done your full Ironman.
Yeah.
Box ticked.
Yeah.
What's the sort of thought? What's going through your head now, like in terms of thinking about what you're
in an ideal world, I'd want to go back and do Barcelona again.
Would you?
I would do.
And if you were going to do it again, what would you do? As in, like, what would you aim to do rather? What was your?
So I would work on my bike and I'd run the marathon.
Yeah. Okay. But don't forget that the run walk strategy is something that.
Fast
marathons anyway.
Or run walk the marathon.
The whole thing, right?
We're not just walk it.
Yeah, we didn't walk the whole thing. Okay, cool. So improve your time by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But realistically, I think kind of home, the kids, work. It's I
Put
think.
it all together.
Yeah. So I think realistically, I'll be doing half next year.
Yeah, just to kind of lighten the load a little bit on the.
Maybe the year after.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to getting some speed in. I'm looking forward to,
work. I think the big thing is once you've done your first year.
So the year after, we've all got to go and do South Africa with Holly because she's 18
Oh, really?
then.
Okay, then.
And Greg's daughter's going to be 18.
Yeah, my dear, she's 18 in 2 years' time. And yeah, for some reason she thinks, or we are, shall I say thinks, we are doing South Africa Ironman when she's 18.
So strangely enough, she's been inspired by by the people around her.
Yeah.
And as we always say.
And she's been a great training partner as well.
Yeah. So we're gonna get Holly. You watch out for Holly. She's going to be a weapon, isn't she?
She's going to be a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be on fire. Cool. And so, Greg, you've already mentioned that you quite fancy going back there and beating.
Yeah, I'd like to do it again, but again, I'd like to do it. I know it sounds a bit, I don't know, a bit emotional again now because we're just off the back of it, but the group thing was great. It'd be nice to do that. If we don't do Barcelona, it'd be nice if we could all go and do an event together, whether it be the long course weekend, or something like that. Again, and that's a great event for anybody watching this because there's different distances. You can do, the one lap of the swim. You can do, I think there's 3 distances on the bike and 3 distances on the run.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you weren't confident enough to try and challenge it, because it is a challenging course, but just to
go and have a taste.
Yeah, go and have a taste basically.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great concept.
Yeah.
I know probably tougher for the people running the marathon on the Sunday, because obviously your recovery's setting in, you're stiffening up, and you've actually got to drag yourself out of bed and go and do it. So I get that side of it being tough, but the actual concept of it and the choice of distances, because if you've got a strong bike and a weaker swim and a weaker run, you can pick and choose what your strength is really. So
work on whatever you want to
work on what you're. Yeah,
exactly.
So I think it'd be nice to go and do that again, or at least have a weekend doing a.
We'll definitely do a half one.
Yeah, we'll do a half summer.
So if
hopefully somewhere sunny as well.
If you say, let's just say, right, if you and Lou did another Ironman Barcelona together next year, and you saw each other on the run, who would we on whose trainers?
Well, this year I did.
I can't believe you're going to confess this.
Confess to Facebook Live. Yeah. Well, I saw Lou coming the other way with a new chap. And,
not literally, but
the Finnish man.
The Finnish man. We sort of give us a big wet sweaty cuddle, and I was unfortunately mid-flow at the time.
It wasn't unfortunate. You said to me when you were hugging me, "I'm just going for a wee now." I was like, "That's nice, thanks."
Nice. So, if you can't share it with friends, you can share it with.
Exactly. You've been on.
Yeah, but I don't want to share that much. So like we're friends, but there's a level.
Oh, you got a little bit of Greg on your trainers now.
And a small Coke.
So that's all good. So, is there any questions that I've forgotten to ask that you think we should cover for people who are watching this?
Just enjoy it. Do it all with a smile on your face, is all I say. Yeah. If it becomes a chore, then you've got to reevaluate what you're doing. But yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy the pain, as Matt says. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where you've got to go. Whether it be swimming, shuffling, or riding your bike, really.
Yeah.
But it's a huge thing for me. It's been massive, and you've said it's something that you can kind of take on. I would never have done this I wouldn't have sat down and done an interview like this live on Facebook 12 months ago. There's absolutely no way.
No, I think that's quite important for those of you watching this, right? So just huge amount of respect to the 2 people sat outside of me, because they didn't really want to do this, and I haven't bullied them into doing it, but I did feed Greg. So I have given them both dinner before. So
no vodka though. Weirdly, no vodka.
You know those research studies that are funded by companies? This video was funded by dinner.
Like katsu curry.
Yeah, katsu curry. We all had the same as well, so we were all performing to the same level. So it's an equal playing field. No, but seriously, like the not just that, like the courage it takes to step up and say you're going to do something like this anyway.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's the fear of failure that kept me going, if I'm being honest. Once I signed up to it, and just wanting to focus for other personal reasons as well. It was just a case of, do you know what? Yeah.
And I have so much respect for that, because, it's not easy, and I've started that journey. I feel very, relatively privileged to have been able to share that, share some of my experience with these guys as well.
You were amazing. Thank you.
To sort of have a have that response.
No, but obviously you're amazing too.
I just have that responsibility, because it's a huge responsibility.
I thought you were looking at me.
You're amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh God.
I think it's like so I think it's a huge thing to do. So I'm immensely proud of everybody who's done this.
Well, you're part of my transformation.
Because Lou actually started doing you started doing blasts with me, didn't you?
Yeah.
So this goes to show, right? So you can sign up to do one of our fitness camps. Greg obviously lives a long way, and then end up doing an Ironman. So be careful because we're in a circle of influence.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. You
but,
are trouble.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, very persuasive character.
Yeah.
Have we got any more
my
questions?
wife, but yes, you are.
What?
What?
Are they being
Fran's
rude?
on there.
Hi, Fran.
Matthew Breed. So obviously it is important to talk about this. So after the race,
Yeah.
the downtime.
Yeah.
Bit of Oktoberfest.
Bit of Oktoberfest, yeah.
What did he say?
No,
What
he
did he
just mentioned
What?
Oktoberfest, so I thought
Okay.
better.
What goes on tour stays on tour. Matt, you went home early. You
Yeah.
have to remember that.
Yeah, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Works
pretty
out.
civilised until lunchtime on the day after. And then, funnily enough, I was leaving at that point. Nah, they were good. But no, it is important, isn't it, to relax and enjoy, that moment, right?
Yeah.
Because it was really nice actually to sit
it's
on the
really
beach with you guys and just have a discussion, just chat and
Yeah, no, it was good. And of all the weekends we've been on, my family come to Tenby as well, and it's just been nice to the end of every day just to sit down and just all get on really. It's been good.
share that experience.
Yeah.
And what was
Swash
lovely
Buckler
was
was good
you
fun.
coming out as well, coming out to watch us.
Yeah,
That's huge.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I don't think a year ago I decided I was coming.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you?
It was never that I wasn't. I was always going to be there
Right.
to watch it. So
Right.
yeah. Can't go to every Ironman in the world that I coach, otherwise I'll be living in the bus shelter in Lifton. But yeah, I couldn't because the merchandise store's too good, right?
Yeah.
Louise witnessed a bit of the shopping.
Yeah, it was ace.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
No.
I think we're all good.
I think we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Just pop them down below in the comments. I'm
And
sure.
we won't answer them.
Yeah, Lou or Greg or I will
Sorry,
probably.
Lee's not been too serious.
Give me a vodka
Yeah.
and I might answer them. Sorry.
Cool. We'll break off, yeah?
Yeah, sorry.
Lou, just be careful what you say in the next 20 seconds because you're going to still be on video.
Okay,
All right?
yeah.
Just shuffle sideways so I can get out as well. Otherwise I'll start. Cool. Have a good evening, guys. Hope you've enjoyed.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.